Hey, this is Jesus Castello for RubyGuides.com, and in this video we're going to talk about multithreading. So I already did another video and an article on my blog about the basics of multithreading, what it is, how to use it. So what I want to do in this video is talk about thread pools. What are thread pools? Well, many times what you want to do is to take like a pool of work, a queue of work, like for example, reading 100 files or making 100 API requests or downloading 100 images, things like that. Doesn't have to be 100, it's just an example. And you want to like bulk that work and do it as fast as possible? Well, that's what thread pools are really good at. Because you can make 100 threads, and then what that will do is do all of the work at the same time. Try to do all of the work at the same time. Because if you do 100 threads for an HTTP connection and API request, what will happen is that the server is not going to be very happy with you because you just made 100 requests at the same time, right? That's not very nice for the server, and some servers might throttle you, might slow you down if you make many requests at the same time. There are API request limits and things like that. So the solution is to use a thread pool. So a thread pool, what it is like some fixed amount of threads that we take work of a queue, and when they are done, they will take the next item from the queue. And then we keep going like that. And since you have a fixed number of workers, fixed number of threads that are working in this pool, it will never go over this amount of threads. So another way to think about this, like you have some like hiring actual workers, like people, and you give them tasks, and when they are done, then you give them another task. And when they finish that task, you give them another task, right? So that's kind of like a thread pool works like. So I have this code example for you. And what I'm using is a gem called concurrent Ruby. And the way you can install that gem is like this. Gem install concurrent Ruby. I already have it installed. And then you can require it like this, require concurrent. So notice it's required concurrent, not required concurrent Ruby. That can be a bit confusing. But to install, you say concurrent Ruby. So what is this gem? Well, this gem allows you to do some more advanced multi-threading things like thread pools. So let's see how we can use this. And the next line I have in my example is this. Let me explain a little bit. So what this does is disable output buffering. What does that mean? Well, sometimes you print something with puts or print or in some other way, and it doesn't show right away. Why? Because there is a buffer, meaning some memory that holds your text temporarily until a certain amount of text is achieved. Then it will print. But you can disable this behavior, so it prints right away, so there is no buffering with this line of code. Then next we have this line 6, and this creates the actual thread pool using the concurrent gem. And in this case, I'm using this fixed thread pool. There are other kinds of thread pools inside the gem, but I think this will be enough for like 99% of the cases. So for fixed thread pool, it takes one argument, and this is the number of threads, the number of workers that you want to have. So I'm going to start with 1, so we can see how increasing the number of workers affects the performance of your Ruby application. So this just one worker, one person. You can imagine you only have one person working for you, so you can only give them one task, right? And next we have this block of code which does something 6 times. And what's that something? Well, it's another block. And what this is putting things into the pool. It's putting things into the work queue. So it's adding work, it's adding task. It's giving the workers the task that they need to do. So in this case, the task is to print fetching URL. So we can imagine that this is fetching some kind of URL, so you can parse it and maybe find out some information. And then we simulate some wait using sleep 1. And then it just prints done, so we can see it's finished. And after that, we have these 2 lines. And what this is doing is telling the pool to wait for termination. So in other words, it waits until all of the work is done. It waits until the queue is empty. So if I run this code, you will see in the right, fetching URL, done, fetching URL, done, fetching URL, done. So that's the worker doing work. And remember, right now we only have one worker. So it has to, we can only do one thing at a time. And that takes exactly 6 seconds. Why? Because it's 6 times sleep 1 second. So now if we hire another worker and we have 2, this will take half the time because we can do the work twice as fast because we have 2 workers. So if I run this, fetching URL, done. And as you can see on the on the right, I have highlighted, exited with code 0 in 3 seconds. So we're doing the work twice as fast. And of course, we can increase this up to 6. And now we're going to do very fast. It's only 1 second. And so you can see this very fast, but you don't want to have too many workers because then you lose part of the benefits. You are overloading, we could say. So I think 6 is a very good number of workers because that's what the Google Chrome browser uses for fetching web pages. It uses a thread pool with 6 threads, 6 workers. And of course, in this block, you can change the code that you want to run. Can be anything. This could be an actual API request, an actual file read, something like that. So that's thread pools. Hope you found that super useful and interesting. And I want you to subscribe to the channel now so we can get more people to watch this video. We can grow the channel, and we also receive notifications so you can keep improving your Ruby skills, and it will help me grow the channel, like I said. And if you like the video, give me a like, because that also helps. So thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this and to learn more Ruby and improve your skills. That's always a good thing. See you, thank you, and see you in another video.